Chat with him ahead of their first Champions League game. I just wonder how you reflect on that chat, and I suppose it shows how life can change in a short space of time. You're now managing against him this weekend.
Yeah, certainly could change it. I really enjoyed it actually. It was we got on really well. It was the first time I've met him really properly, and we had a good chat just about general football kind of things and a little bit on processes and ideas a little bit, but he was really accommodating actually, and I enjoyed it, so it'll be good to see him again.
It's just over 19 and a half years ago since you signed for Manchester United from Tottenham. I know you of course played against them many a time, but you talk about your love for the club and how you fell in love with Manchester United. Can you pinpoint when that was after you made the move from London to Manchester, and maybe when that moment was for you?
Yeah, it was pretty instant. I mean, I've got really fond memories of Tottenham and being at the club. You know, I was there for a short time, or what feels now like a short time when you look back, but really enjoyed it. Good team. Martin Jol was manager, and there was a lot of kind of things that I learned at the club in that short period of time. You know, but yeah, I've said it enough times. I think coming here was a jump, and a big jump at the time, and I certainly felt that pretty quickly. And then, yeah, I think once you step inside this place as a footballer, then it kind of it turns you, you know. And so pretty much from the first day, walking into the dressing room, meeting the manager, from then on in, it was that was me.
Yes. Having sat down with Thomas just that short time ago, what kind of challenge did Tottenham bring on Saturday?
Well, they certainly bring a challenge. I think you can see, you know, especially the way they finished the game the other day, and they've had over a period of time players injured and ins and outs, and a lot of changes to the team, which makes things a lot more challenging, a lot more difficult from their perspective. But getting players back, and they've got good attackers, you know, really good attackers that look to stretch the back line and play forward and attack the box an awful lot. So it's something we certainly got to be aware of, you know, and slightly different game to maybe what we've played over recent weeks in some ways, but we're looking forward to it. You know, we're in a good place, and boys have worked well again this week. Again, feet on the ground. Let's not get carried away with what's gone on, but it's about what's next again. So big challenge ahead, but we're looking forward to it.
And for yourself, obviously it's a great start, Michael, but has it even surprised you at how well it's gone to this point?
To be honest, it was coming in at the very start, and then to get the game so quickly, it was kind of step by step, so I wasn't really looking too far ahead, and you know, obviously people were saying at the time of first two games at that point were standout games, and expecting a tough start, and in some ways that maybe helped, and to get the whole group and focused and alive, if you like, you know, going into both games. But yeah, I didn't really look too far ahead, you know, and I couldn't allow myself to do that. But certainly over time, we kind of got a vague idea of what we want it to look like coming through the door. And certainly since we've been here, that becomes a lot clearer in what direction we want to go in, and how we want to play, you know. But certainly the three wins have been fantastic in different ways. So we feel confident we've got a lot of growth in the team and the squad, but it's coming from a good place.
Hi Michael. Matthias de Ligt and Mason Mount weren't pictured in training the other day. When are you expecting those two to be back available for you?
Yeah, probably Mason sooner. He's not too far away really, so we're hopeful it won't be too long at all for Mace. Matt a little bit. He's working his way back. He's taking good steps and he's improving. And it's been really positive. A little bit too soon at the moment, but hopefully it won't be too long as well.
Just wanted as well to ask, there's some gaps coming up in the schedule. There was talk earlier in the campaign about mid-season friendlies. I think Ruben Amorim, the predecessor, said United would have to do it due to missing out European football, the need for revenues and things like that. Is that something that you're aware that's going to be happening? Are plans afoot to go anywhere?
Yeah, at this stage, it's nothing's confirmed, or we are aware of the schedule, and there is some kind of spaces, if you like, that we can use in different ways. So it's all up for discussion at the moment, but nothing's been decided, and it might happen, it might not. We'll just have to wait and see.
Michael, in terms of the kind of future of the football club and looking beyond like the next game, when it comes to shaping the squad for next season, does the fact that there is uncertainty over the manager's position, is that going to be a hindrance? You've been a player, you know what it's like. Do players want certainty about what's going to happen if they're thinking about coming?
The players have been spot on and fully focused. To be honest, I think. We're all aware of the bigger situation and what ifs and what might happen, but I think as a player anyway, you're focused on what's ahead of you and trying to achieve what you can at this moment in time and for the rest of the season. So I've got no issues with it. I've got no concerns. The lads have been better than you could imagine in terms of fully invested in it, and I've said that over the last couple of weeks anyway. So we're just focusing on being better and improving and getting ourselves in this club to where we want to be, and it's small steps, but it's obviously a big end to the season that we're looking towards.
And just finally, you're doing this today because tomorrow there's a commemoration from Munich. Could you just explain, as someone who's been in the club and knows about the club, what that remembrance means to you?
Yeah, it means a great deal, I have to say. I think just saying about when I how long did it take to kind of love this place and love being in this place. It was quickly, and as soon as you come, you're made aware, and you can't help but know and understand the history. And I think it's a responsibility that when you work here, you play, you coach here, you understand what's come before us and behaviours and responsibilities that we need to carry through. And Munich is probably the biggest part of the history of this club in terms of the tragedy itself, how the team and the football club bounced back from it and then went on to success, and everything from there was carried on. And Sir Alex, when I came, would mention it. It was important to him, it was important to us, and then it ends up becoming a way of life and a way of the club. And I think it's important that we carried it on, and I was here for the 50th, I was here for the 60th, see about the 70th, we're not sure yet, but being aware of it and being around it, and then especially in them moments, you really feel that emotion, to be honest with you. And inside the stadium tomorrow, not tomorrow, but on Saturday, I'm sure we'll feel it as well.
Thanks, Cam. Okay. Talking of Manchester United, should their fans be concerned that the uncertainty surrounding the manager situation may derail their season? Michael Carrick doesn't think so, and after winning all 3 of his games so far, calls for him to get the job permanently or growing.
The players have been spot on and fully focused, to be honest. I think we're all aware of the bigger situation and what ifs and what might happen, but I think as a player anyway, you're focused on what's ahead of you and trying to achieve what you can at this moment in time and for the rest of the season. So I've got no issues with it. I've got no concerns. The lads have been better than you could imagine in terms of fully invested in it, and I've said that over the last couple of weeks anyway. So we're just focusing on being better and improving and getting ourselves in this club to where we want to be, and it's small steps, but it's obviously a big end to the season that we're looking towards.
Jay, so far the uncertainty around who the head coach is going to be next season is certainly not affecting them because they've won 3 out of 3 with Michael Carrick. But if you are a player, can it affect you if you don't know who's going to be there next season?
Well, I mean, we were speaking off air about this. I had a situation when I was at Charlton back in the day, and it was when Darren Bent first went to Charlton. I think he scored 20 Premier League goals, done fantastically well, but Charlton only played with 1 up front, so obviously I was limited to minutes. And Kirbishley was there. Towards the end of the season, we discussed a new contract. I was going to sign it at the end of the season, but then Kerbishley moved on to West Ham. Ian Dowie came in and took the contract away from me. So obviously you can imagine I was fuming, but I think at Man United, it will be something similar because there's going to be players there thinking, well, Michael Carrick's not been guaranteed the job. What's my future look like after the season? They still have to go out and perform this season. They're doing really well, the players that are playing, but they will have, thoughts on their future next season, which is up in the air at the moment.
Let's see what the fans think. Sky Sports have partnered with Finalysis to discover true fan opinions. Have your say when we used to speak to him earlier in the season. But any worries about the uncertainty about who's going to be the head coach next season?
Well, you'd have thought there'd have been uncertainty when Michael Carrick came in. This would be the period now where I think a lot of us would be worried about how these players are going to react. Is it going to be the same as it was before? An interim manager, I don't put as much effort in. Another manager's going to come in and I can just wait for him to arrive in the summer. It's been the complete opposite, and there's optimism around everywhere right now. Carrick is a fantastic communicator, and I think that's come across above all else within the last few weeks of him being in at Manchester United, and I think the players are responding to him. The noises from Manchester United, we've seen the interviews with Martinez, with Harry Maguire recently as well. It's not just Carrick, it's the people he's brought in with him, like Steve Holland and Jonathan Woodgate, and the praise that they're getting. So for the rest of this season, I think the players are actually really happy. I think the players are, like I said, responding to Carrick, and I feel like if they can get themselves into the Champions League places, as a player you're thinking, whoever comes in the summer, they're going to see that we're good enough to get Manchester United to the top four. So if anything, they're playing for their own sort of pride as well right now, because let's not forget, they have let down this fan base. They have let down Manchester United in the first half of the season. No matter what's gone on in the background, the players have to have responsibility. So for them now, I think it's bit between the teeth. They like what's going on. They like the way that Carrick's approached it. And I think full steam ahead to the top four.
Do you think the reason, though, that they haven't committed to Carrick and they won't beyond this season is because of what happened with Solskjaer? They committed to him during the season because Man United were playing really, really well. I think they finished second that season. And then obviously they gave him that long-term deal. Do you think that's the reason why they're not prepared to commit to Carrick right now?
There is an element you could think, but let's not forget the Manchester United hierarchy and ownership has changed. That was just the Glazers on their own when that decision was made last time. This time it's Ineos and they're running the football side of the football club. And I feel like it is a little bit different. There is that, obviously, and I feel like they want to give themselves time. I feel like they won't commit, Jay, because you think of the managers that are available this summer after the season finishes. You're talking Thomas Tuchel, Pochettino, you've got Glasner, you've got Marco Silva, you've got Iraola, you've got so many. Even Ancelotti's available at the end of the season.
He signed a new deal. I think Ancelotti signed a new deal with Brazil, though. Am I right in saying, until 2030?
We know with internationals, they're never really set in stone, are they? I think these managers, if they get a chance at another big club at club level, they always go for it anyway.
I think what you're right is that what you're saying is absolutely right. There are some big managers out there, especially if Man United keep on playing the way they're playing. Then those kind of managers might be interested. But I think that would do Carrick a disservice. Then I was saying off air again, about Carrick. If he keeps the team playing the way it's playing, and they end up finishing third, fourth even, you will look at that and say they've done fantastically well. How can you get rid of Carrick then?
Yeah, that's the thing. And that's where I think a lot of United fans, Jay, have got an issue with the ownership, because you would say that's there and you can't ignore that. That there is Michael Carrick doing what Ruben Amorim couldn't do, what Erik ten Hag couldn't do, what previous managers couldn't do. He's done it with the same squad. He's not even had any backing of his own players. He's taken their players and got top four, so why wouldn't he get the job? So United fans looking at that thinking, yeah, Carrick should get the job, but I feel like he won't get the job because Ineos want to control the football club. And that's the issue that we've got with the ownership right now. They want to control everything and they want to be able to make that decision at the end of the season. I think Carrick has to walk into the Champions League places comfortably to get this job. That's just the feeling that I get. I think just getting in isn't enough and they will look for somebody else. But you're right, Jay. If he gets in there, then Manchester United should be looking at Michael Carrick.
Yeah, and as well, before Michael Carrick actually got the job, we was hearing from the ex-players, again, like Roy Keane, Gary Neville, obviously fantastic players, some of the world's best. they know exactly what's expected of a Man United player. And some of them, well, I mean, especially Roy Keane, he just said he doesn't see Carrick being the guy to take over. But when I look at the way Carrick has this Man United team playing, which is free-flowing, playing with energy, the players are playing with a smile on their face, people like Mainu is back in the team, players are playing in their position that they feel comfortable in. Me as a fan and a supporter of football, I like to see where Man United is right now. And I think this could be the turning point. I think you do people like Carrick, like Rossini, a disservice when you just dismiss them and say, they're not a big enough name. How do they get to that point where they can be big managers if you don't give them the opportunity to go and do it? And I think he's doing fantastically well.
It's a fair point. I totally agree with what you're saying there. Someone has to start, a good manager has to start somewhere. It's like Pep Guardiola came through Barcelona's B-side before he went into Barcelona's first. Can Carrick not do the same? I think with what Roy Keane said, just going back to what you said there, Jay, and the others, they know what it takes to be a Manchester United player under Sir Alex Ferguson. Now, that's something that we haven't had, and the standards have dropped because of the way that this club has been run. So I think going back, this being the nearest thing that we've had to exciting football, edge-of-the-seat football, as Paul Scholes calls it, for instance.
Have you played any better than this since Sir Alex? Have you played any better than this?
No. The early days of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you could say, definitely we won a few games in a row when Solskjaer first came in as interim, but we didn't play a high-flying Manchester City or Arsenal side and take the game to him in them. This is the best it's been since Sir Alex Ferguson.
I'll tell you one thing that I have seen since Carrick's come in there. Do you know, it's only been a few games, I know, but that mental toughness of, you know, they conceded the other day and it's like, oh no. You know, last season, that would have been a draw. Definitely, I mean, sorry, not last season, Amorim. That would have been a draw probably. But they dug in and it was, you know, like Fergie time, everyone called it. Now we're seeing Carrick time.
Yeah, but that was it. I was sat there and we were discussing that in the actual game. We're thinking, I can't believe it. 92nd minute, I think Fulham score a will there. We're going back to the Amorim days here. And then you're thinking, hang on, maybe with this new steeliness and that hard-centred attitude that Carrick's brought into the side, you could say, with a few minutes left yet, maybe United can go down the other end. And then when it hits, when we beat Fulham with that last-minute goal, it's like it wasn't our best performance under Carrick so far. But like you said, Jay and Tom, it's like, that's that old Manchester United way. It's like, we're just going to score one more than you, even when we're not playing well. And that's the belief that's now within the fan base. And I think that's the difference.
Yeah. OK, going well so far. And Tottenham tomorrow. Adam, thank you.
Cheers, guys. See you later.
Right, back to Tottenham now. After calling the Tottenham squad depth disgraceful, should Cristian Romero remain as Spurs captain? Thomas Frank has refuted suggestions Romero is leading a player revolt at the club. And he was asked whether Romero will be at Tottenham next season. Here's what he said.
That's a question I have no idea about. Right now, he is the captain, and it's a long-term contract, and we signed a new contract with him in the summer.
Is he still the captain, Romero?
What do you think? The answer is yes. Leadership is many things. Leadership is... I'm 52 years old. I think I'm pretty good at leadership. Can I get better every single day? Yes. Do I make mistakes? Maybe not every single day, but probably weekly. Romero is 27 years old. He will still make mistakes going forward as a leader. Does he do a lot of good things? Yes. I think sometimes someone do more than one mistake, and we've dealt with it internally.
Right, we touched on this a little bit earlier, Jay, about Cristian Romero, with Thomas Frank saying he's not 100% sure if he will be here next season. Romero, that is. But he is captain right now. And a lot of Tottenham fans we've had on are saying that they don't think he's a suitable captain because of his public outburst on social media. What do you think about that? And if they do want to change him as captain, surely they can't do it mid-season?
Why not? Why can't they do it mid-season? If he's been disruptive...
If they take the captaincy off him, can they pick him?
Yeah, you can definitely do that. I mean, if you listen, at the end of the day, he's been disruptive, and he's saying, in my opinion, which is kind of disrespectful thing, saying the squad depth is disrespectful. In my eyes, the way that translates in my head is he thinks the players are not good after the starting 11, right? So, to me, that's disrespectful. I mean, what other candidates would you say there are? I mean, Kulusevski is injured at the moment, but when he's back, yes. Van der Ven, I would say, he's definitely a candidate. But Romero should know better. He's 27 years old. He cannot come out and say things like this, because ultimately the players are going to read that. His teammates are going to read that and think, what an idiot for saying something like that. At the end of the day, there needs to be, cohesion in the squad. Everyone, pulling in the right direction, especially now for Tottenham. They don't need these kind of outbursts.
João Palhinha is a leader, but he's only on loan. But they have brought in Conor Gallagher. What did you think of their January transfer window? Because a lot of the Tottenham fans were hoping for more. I
mean, I really like Conor Gallagher. I think that was a good signing. He brings energy to the team. He's box to box. He can score goals as well. So I thought that was a good signing. But they just need more. I mean, listen, you're not going to replace Kane. Probably not going to replace Son either, but there are other players out there. When you look,
Madison injured, Kulusevski certainly hasn't helped.
I mean, Kulusevski was massively a massive blow. He's been out for a while now. Obviously, Madison as well. But then when when I look at teams like Brighton, for example, like with Minte, they need someone like that, someone that's a ball carrier. I mean, they signed Kudus, yes, again, very good player,
but
he's injured. So I feel like what they really need is a striker that's going to score the 15 Premier League goals and the 20 Premier League goals. Solanke, he's been injured. He's come back in and he's very good now, so maybe he can be that guy. Defensively, I think the defence, when everyone's fit, they're really good. They've got cover, they've got Spence, he can play right back and left back, and Doggy, they've got Van der Ven, Romero, Pedro Porro. They've got good defenders, but I think that it's just the attacking options. They look a bit blunt in them attacking positions. They don't have enough shots. They don't create enough chances. They haven't got enough magic there. I mean, Xavi's playing really well now, which is really good to see. He played fantastically well the other day. He's probably the shining light now when he goes forward. People get off their seat. They want to see what he's going to do. But I think around the attacking areas, they need to improve that for sure.
Wayne, on the bottom of the screen there, sent a message saying that Romero needs some sort of disciplinary action for his kind of outbursts on social media. What do you think about players?
Well, I mean, what's disciplinary action? What are you going to do? Fine him? You can't. If you fine him,
what do you
fine him, then that's going to be a big problem.
Okay, well, what do you think the club should do?
I think they should have a word with him. If it carries on, then take the armband off him, because he needs to lead by example. That's what captaincy is all about. Some people, they're quiet, but they lead by example. Others, like Roy Keane, for example, he'll keep a lot of things in check. I mean, Roy was Roy, and it was a different game back then as well. It was a very physical game. But at the end of the day, he can't be coming out, speaking in derogatory manner about the club and about his teammates.
So, I mean, in terms of players voicing their displeasure on social media, it's been going on for a few years now. What do you think of it? Are you all for it? Are you against it?
It depends on the circumstances. Like if a manager comes out and publicly says something, like Ten Hag came out one time against Sancho and said something, I think the player's got every right to respond publicly, because ultimately, if you want to keep things behind closed doors, you could take him into your office and speak to him. When you go public, I think the player's got the right to be public as well. But if a player's coming out just off his own back and starts being derogatory about the club, then that's not on either.
Yeah, because the first option there, everyone's allowed a right to reply. If somebody says something bad against you, you are allowed to kind of allowed to counter that. But that doesn't seem to be what's happened with Romero in this situation.
And on that as well, Tom, like sometimes players are in a position where they can't win. Right? So like if a player comes out and just says what they think because they're not playing or whatnot, or because something's happened in the training ground, even if it did happen in the training ground, you can't come out and voice, your dirty laundry. You have to just keep it stum. But when the manager comes out and then you respond to it, it's different. Obviously in this situation here with Romero, he's come out, it's an outburst. He shouldn't be doing that. He is not helping his team, get out the tricky, situation they're in at the moment.
In terms of that, just quickly before we move on, we're going to be hearing from a Tottenham fan on this after 11 o'clock, by the way. But this time last week, we were talking about their fixtures, weren't we? We said Man City at home, which they got a point against, in fairness, having been 2-0 down. It's Manchester United away tomorrow lunchtime, and then it's Newcastle at home, and Newcastle got a good record against Tottenham. That's Tuesday night, and then next Sunday, of course, is the North London derby. The fixture list is still as hard as it looked last week, but they have got a point under their belts.
Yeah, they have got a point under the belt. I did say I think this could be make or break for Thomas Frank, these next 4 games, but obviously before the City game, because if he goes and loses all them games, then I think he'll be gone. But obviously there was positive signs against City. Now they need to go and do it again against Man United. I think the game they need to look at to win is definitely the Newcastle game, because they won't be beating Arsenal. No, I mean it's a tough game.
This time I do know what you're laughing at.
It's a tough game. It's a derby, you know. So it's whoever turns up on the day. But it is a tough run of games. Tottenham are not, firing on all cylinders. And like I said, if they end up with 1 point from these 4 games, even that, it's just not good enough.
Right, well, keep getting your voice notes in, please. On the way next, we'll focus our attention on Liverpool after Arne Slot admitted his side have struggled to adapt to the changing style of the Premier League. We'll look at how much it has actually changed and discuss whether Liverpool might actually benefit from it. Right, we begin with Tottenham Hotspur. Thomas Frank has said he has no idea if Christian Romero will be at Spurs next season. Romero criticised the club on social media for what he perceived as a lack of transfer activity, with the club captain calling their squad depth disgraceful. Let's speak to a Tottenham fan on this now. Cam Mitchell joins us. Cam, do you want him to stay at Tottenham?
Morning, guys. Absolutely, I want him to stay at Tottenham. I think he's been one of our better players this season. I think one of our top goal scorers as well. And while, listen, that's not a reason to keep him, I think defensively he's underrated. I think his disciplinary record is overstated at times. I think he's genuinely been much more disciplined than he was in previous years. And he's a leader and he's passionate, and that's what you want from leaders in your team.
OK, leaders in your team, yes, but a lot of Tottenham fans don't think he should be captain anymore. What do you think?
I think who else are you going to make captain in this current squad?
But Jay said you said Van der Ven, didn't you?
Van der Ven and maybe Kulusevski when he comes back from injury.
I'll throw in Gallagher and Palhinha if you sign Palhinha permanently.
I would say in terms of leadership, in terms of big games, Romero has that. Van der Ven hasn't really led a team before. It would be definitely his first team. Whereas you look at Romero, he's obviously carried the Argentinian team, along with help, in the Copa America and the World Cup as well.
Sorry, I swear Messi plays for Argentina.
Yeah, but they still put him in the team, so he must be good enough to play with him, right? I mean,
yeah, but you said he carried him.
Well, he's helped from the back.
He's participated, is what you mean, right?
Okay, ask Messi who he thinks the best centre-back in the world is. I promise you he says Romero. He has before, so there you
really?
go.
Okay.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
Do you think he's the best centre-back in the world?
Do I think he's the best centre-back in the world? No, but do I think he has the potential to be? Yes, I do. I still think he's young for his position. I wouldn't have anyone else as captain, unfortunately. Maddison would be the one, but he's injured and obviously out for the season. Kulusevski, I still don't know when Kulusevski's back. And Van der Ven, there's talk of him leaving in the summer as well. And he's obviously been having arguments with the fans. So whether he should be captain is another question as well. Am I bothered by any of that? No, not really. I just think Romero is right for the club.
Cam, first and foremost, Romero is not even top 3 in the Premier League. So he's not going to be he's not going to be the best in the world. I don't care what Messi says.
I've just looked it up. Messi did say that in 2023. I know.
I mean, listen, Gary Neville was a great right back, but he wasn't a great manager. So at the end of the day, right, it doesn't mean just because you're the best, you know what you're talking about. But I know one thing: Gay is one of the best in the Premier League, probably, consistently playing well. Gabriel, Saliba. Would you disagree with them? Do you think that he's better than them?
I think it's unfair to compare. I think they're in better teams.
They're defenders.
They're in better teams.
Yeah, I know, but to play well, you've got to get at your team.
Put me in the Arsenal team, I'll look better.
Come on. I'm not even going to get into this argument with you about.
It's true though. Is it not true?
It's not, because you're talking about. You just said to me that he's one of the best in the world. We're coming off the debate now, but at the end of the day, he's not. He's not the best top 3 in the Premier League. I could even throw Van Dijk in there as well. Even at his age.
Real Madrid are rumoured to come in for him for a big money move in the summer.
It's a rumour.
Okay, so Real Madrid are going for the non-best centre-backs in the world, are they?
We don't work with rumours, we work with facts.
Okay, well, we'll see. If he signs for a team like Real Madrid, then, you'll be the one eating your words.
I will be, and then I'll hold my hands up. But right now, I'm not, and they're not top 3. But anyway, listen, Tottenham, going forward, where do you think you most need to improve? Because I look at it and I say, I like your defence. I think Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Spence and Doggy, or whoever's playing left back, I like that. I think that's a very, very good back line.
Yeah.
Midfield, I look at and I say there are some very good players in there as well. I'm not being, disrespectful. But I look at the attack and I say to myself, OK, Solanke's come back in now. He's done very, very well. I like Kudus. He's done well before his injuries. Xavi started to play well. But I think after that, there's a lot of inconsistencies. And with the injuries, I think that's taken toll on Tottenham.
Absolutely. Jay, you're totally right. And that's exactly why Romero's come out and said what he said. He's looking around going, we're dropping like flies and you haven't brought any reinforcements in. So I think the fans will look at that and go, I totally agree with him. I totally agree it's disgraceful. You don't sign a senior player when you've got all these injuries. I think that is disgraceful. To the point where I think some fans are even looking back going, wow, Daniel Levy probably would have got a couple loans in or something, right? So that's where we're at right now. Where do we need to improve, Jay? All across the park. I think you'd agree with that. I think we need experience. So getting rid of an experienced player like Romero, I don't think is the smartest idea right now. We need our squad with Archie Gray having to fill in at centre-back, drag us in. These aren't players. Danso, I like him since he's come in, but these aren't players that should be in your starting lineup as far as I'm concerned. So in centre-back anyway, I like Archie Gray.
And just quickly for me on that as well, Cam, I think Romero is a top defender, by the way. I think a lot of strikers do not like playing against him and Van der Ven, especially him, because he's so aggressive. He's good on the ball. He can bring it out. He's good on set pieces on both sides of the box. So I think he's a fantastic player.
A huge game away at Manchester United tomorrow. Cam, thank you.